What's up guys, for the battles here, and I'm just going to show you a few random GBL matches. I'm going to show you a couple trios and just Pokemon I've been working with. Now for these particular matches, I think you're going to see a lot of Cresselia. You're going to see some Swampert action. You're going to see some Cloyster. I'm really enjoying Cloyster a lot. Cloyster, a lot of people kind of like panic when they see Cloyster, even if they're in a winning matchup. Like for instance, Venusaur does fine with Cloyster in the lead. You're gonna have to shield, but the Venusaur is gonna come out the winner. But like a lot of people switch out of that. Cloyster is gonna be just really good against a lot of the meta here. And then even if it's not in like a good matchup, you've got that Icy Wind just to like put some damage on things. And then I've been trying out Toxicroak. Toxicroak is my anti-Registeel in these trios. I'm preferring Swampert. It's just a little bit more versatile, but Toxicroak is actually really fun to play with as well. And so we're going to see a little bit of Toxicroak. And I've also been playing a little bit around with Poliwrath, but I'm not loving it as far as like, for instance, like it doesn't do enough. Like I think Swampert is like a better Giratina counter, to be honest, because 2 Earthquakes is going to just like destroy Giratina, whereas the Ice Punches is not a really good move. It doesn't get stab, and there's a lot of charm around. So I didn't love Poliwrath, but I did use it in a few of these trios. So we're just going to jump into some of these battles and just get a feel of what these mons do. It's always nice to just kind of watch other people's battles. It kind of lets you know, pressure off. You can just kind of watch the damage, and I enjoy watching a lot of these battles. So I thought I'd upload some for you guys, and hopefully you enjoy them. So all right, let's just jump into it now. So for this battle, we've got Toxicroak on Melmetal. Now this is definitely just a hard win for Toxicroak. They've got right out of there into their Poliwrath. Now this is a little dangerous for Venusaur. I can definitely tank one, but this Poliwrath has a little bit of energy, so I'm going to have to expand a shield, and then I'm hoping that they'll just kind of like let this go. We'll see what they have got in the back. Venusaur is really nice. It is just a very powerful Pokemon, and it can hit a lot, even if it's just neutral. So it comes in back in the Melmetal, and this Frenzy Pen's going to do a lot, but it's not going to do a ton, so I don't expect a shield. I'm not going to shield either because I do have my Toxicroak, and so I might be able to even get one more Frenzy Plant off. And this should force a shield just because that Melmetal is kind of low at this point. You can see how squishy it is here. So they switched into their Giratina, and then I've got my Cresselia. Now, after playing with it for a while, I have found that I like to have Future Sight and Moonblast. For these games, I just have Aurora Beam. I think I prefer the Moonblast for the Giratina match. Aurora Beam just isn't a great move, and especially without stab, I did find myself missing it. So we're okay here just because we do have shields, and then we're just going to town. Because he's shielded, I'm going to go ahead and... I am going to save this Cresselia, but I am just going to go right back into the Toxicroak. The Toxicroak should be able to just handle anything from Melmetal, and I'm just going to get farmed down. I don't think I'll need this Cresselia. You do want to go for the Mud Bombs here. The Sludge Bomb is like a more powerful move, but it is resisted. So Toxicroak should just be able to finish this guy off. Just enough. So good game one. We're going to go into... Still going to be using Cresselia, and Cresselia has picked up a good lead here. So I do expect a switch coming, maybe, and we're just going to play it out a little bit first. Giratina is such a tanky Pokemon, and because I don't have that Moonblast, it's not, the Aurora Beam isn't doing nearly as much. And then he is resisting the Psycho Cut. I'm just turning my Wi-Fi off. I'm having a little bit of spinny ball. So you can just see how powerful Giratina is. If Giratina wants to stay, but I'm not going to shield here just because I do have other Pokemon that can help. So I'm going to go into the Poliwrath, and then I'm not going to block. Poliwrath can handle pretty much anything from Giratina. The Ancient Power is going to be resisted. Dragon Claw isn't going to do a ton. And then we've got Into the Mirror. Now I'm in a really good position because I do have 2 shields. I am just going to let this guy go. I will be able to get one more off. And then I'm going to go into my Toxicroak, and that counter, you can just see how fast it is. And then we're back into the Registeel, and there isn't a ton to do in this situation, so we're just going to, first we're going to have some lag, and then I think we're just going to, we'll just be able to counter down. And he knows that. So just going to go into the next game. And I actually got paired up with Holden McGroin, which was pretty special. So I was excited about that. And then we're in a pretty bad position here, so I wanted to take this energy on the Cresselia. I didn't want to have to use a shield. Cresselia is like a little bit of a shield in itself. And so we've gotten into like a bad spot here. We've got this muck. This muck is going to be going to town on the Cresselia. We can't really do too much. So I'm not going to use shields. I am glad he's gotten like a lot of his energy out, and I'm just going to go right back into the Toxicroak. Toxicroak is just amazing on a Alolan Muck. So I expect that Swampert to come back, and I need, if it can get an Earthquake off, it will just one-shot me. I need to get as much health off of this as soon as possible. So I go into this Drapion just kind of for the element of surprise, just because you could just see how powerful it is. And then luckily he did have a Giratina in the back. So like even through shields, it just that bite is just so damaging. But I have a problem because I need to land a Crunch, and he has shields. So I'm going to go for an Aqua Tail after I charge up to Crunch, and then I got a shield on that Aqua Tail, and then I was thinking maybe he's think I don't have Crunch, and so I think I just got lucky there. And then I was able to just finish this match, and then he still had a shield. So good game. Great game. All right, now this is like a pretty good match for Cresselia, especially if I can land a Future Sight with just one shot. I'm not going to block. Blast Burn would do quite a bit, but not enough to warrant a shield here. So because I didn't shield him, hoping he doesn't, he did. So I'm actually going to get out of here, and I'm going to go into the Poliwrath. And now Poliwrath is nice, especially with an energy advantage. So I'm going to just go to town, and I'm going to try to get some of his shields. And so I'm either going, I'm also, I'm keeping an eye on the clock here, because as soon as that switch clock is up, I'm going to try to go into the Cresselia and just start the farm down. So as many of his shields I can get on the way would be great. And then I am going to save this Poliwrath. And now the switch timer's up, so I'm going to go into the Cresselia and start the farm. Now you can see Cresselia can handle that Sludge Bomb, and now I've gotten energy, so I can choose whichever move I want. He does bring in the Blaziken, and this will just one-shot. And then in comes the Snorlax. And so we luckily have our double fighters in the back. I like this trio. I lead Cresselia, and then I have Poliwrath as the safe swap. So I'm just going to take this Body Slam. I think I could have taken it on the Toxicroak, but not 100% sure. So just safer to take it on the Poliwrath and to close out that game. So now we're going to try a different trio. I'm going to try out Cloyster and Swampert and Giratina. And I actually got matched up with King, and he had a terrible lead, so he switched out into the Lapras. Now I am going to just take some of this Lapras' energy, and then I'm going to go into the Cloyster. Now this basically walls Lapras, especially if it doesn't have Skull Bash, which most of the Ultra Laprases don't. So we're just going to be in a little bit of an ice fight. It's going to go back and forth. I don't need to shield here. If it was like a Skull Bash, it'd be a little bit different. And then I wanted to switch back into the Swampert, but my switch timer wasn't quite up yet. So I went to the Icy Wind and then I'm going to go into the Swampert, but I did catch a move and I wasn't 100% sure. I thought that could have been a Solar Beam. So I did shield it. And then I go for my Hydro Cannon. And then the Charmer comes in. Now I have Giratina in the back. So I'm like, I need to get rid of this Charmer like as soon as possible. Now, this isn't like a great match for Giratina, but Lapras versus Giratina is just easier on Giratina than Togekiss on Giratina. I do have the Ancient Power, so I'm just going to be able to Ancient Power this Lapras and then farm down just a little bit, and then I should be able to get another Ancient Power. And then he does have a shield, but I still have my Cloyster in the back. So he blocks. As soon as that shield is down, I'm going to go right back into the Cloyster. All right, and that closes out that game. Good game. I really enjoy Cloyster just because a lot of people don't know how to play it. And this is a fun game. This was Cloyster versus Suicune. This is like Bubble Beam versus Icy Wind match of the debuffs. See who can debuff each other fastest. So we're just going along. And then by the end, after you've gotten 4 Bubble Beams, Bubble Beams are Icy Winds, you're not going to be getting any debuff anymore. So once I've gotten him to the point where I can't really debuff him anymore, I'm going to go for the Avalanche just because it does a little bit more. And then I'm going to farm until I can get until I have an Avalanche and an Icy Wind ready. Because I want to be able to Avalanche this Suicune and then have an Icy Wind for the next. So we're going to get our Avalanche and then immediately Icy Wind, basically whatever comes in just to get that attack debuff. And then I'm almost able to get another one, but not quite. So I'm going to go in with Swampert because Swampert definitely has a better Giratina match, Swampert has a better Cresselia matchup than our Giratina. So we are going to just Hydro Cannon away. And then he switches into Swampert or switches into Snorlax, and then Swampert also has a better matchup against this Swampert. And at this point, I'm thinking we're gonna time out. So it almost doesn't matter what happens, but I do need to get as much health off of this as I can. And then I think a strategy actually would have been just to block there. It might have been just to keep as much HP on yourself as you can, because you never know when the time is coming. And so there it was. And so I was just lucky for that because I ended up with more HP than he had. So we're going to go into this next game, and I've led Cloyster, and this is just like Cloyster's basically favorite situation. So I expect the switch coming pretty soon. Cloyster can take an Ancient Power even before a debuff. So that's a really nice part of Cloyster, but it can't take 2. So I am going to block the second one, and then I'll have my second Icy Wind ready. And then I'm able to just farm down, and then I should have very close to an Icy Wind for this Togekiss. So that was actually very helpful. And then I will go in with the Swampert because I'm definitely not going to go in with the Giratina. We have a little bit of lag here. Not too bad, we both did. And then I just have to go for the Hydro Cannons because I don't have Sludge Wave on this Swampert. This is definitely a Reggie killing Swampert. So he's gone in with his own Swampert, and I don't have like a amazing match against Swampert. I mean, Swampert can get 2 Earthquakes and pretty much take out Giratina, but I definitely have a better match against this Swampert than I do against the Togekiss. So he actually got me to block a Hydro Cannon, but I will be able to just get a Ancient Power to finish the Togekiss. So great game. Gonna go in with Cloyster again. Now this is like a weird match for Cloyster. I do not think Cloyster wins this. I am just gonna swap into Swampert. Now this Weavile can do quite a bit to Swampert, especially with that really high attack stat, but it's also pretty glassy and Swampert gets off powerful moves quickly. So that's basically why I went into Swampert here. Just trying to force a shield or just get like a whole bunch of health off this guy. And then I will give him 1 just because I want to keep swap advantage. So we've into the Gyarados. I don't have like an amazing answer for him. Definitely don't want to put the Giratina in, so I will just put the Cloyster. It's just going to be like neutral. This is a flying type, but also a water type. But Cloyster definitely does okay with Gyarados. Not amazing, but okay. And then I'm going to quick swap into the Giratina just to get a little energy. And then I am going to fake up to the Ancient Power and just throw Dragon Claw. And he actually doesn't block it. And so at this point, I'm just going to try to Dragon Breath him down. Because I don't want to... He has a shield and I don't want to lose a Dragon Breath. So I'm just going to Dragon Breath him down to finish that match. Alright, so thanks guys. I hope you have enjoyed these videos. If you want to see more, just let me know. I'm definitely doing my daily battles and I record a lot of them. So thanks for watching and good luck in your own battles.